The manhunt for the suspected gunman in yesterday's mass shooting in Maine is now in its second day. Lewiston and several other nearby towns remain under shelter-in-place orders during what has become a massive search involving multiple federal agencies, including the Coast Guard, ICE, Border Patrol, and the FBI. Our national correspondent Jericka Duncan reports from outside the bowling alley where the shooting began.
Law enforcement searched late into the night for Robert Card. With SWAT teams, K-9 units, and helicopters scouring his hometown, Bowdoin, Maine, about 25 minutes from Wednesday's shootings in Lewiston. Police serving search warrants in their hunt for the suspect. At one point, officers in armored vehicles appeared to surround one home in particular that's believed to be Card's last known address. They were there for more than an hour without explanation. Ultimately, they left without a suspect.
This city did not deserve this terrible assault on its citizens.
It comes after Card allegedly opened fire in a bowling alley Wednesday night, killing 7 people before going to a nearby restaurant and killing 8 others. Officials say 3 more victims have since died in the hospital. Earlier in the day, law enforcement raided a home in Bowdoin they believed to be connected to the suspect. And loud bangs could be heard at the scene. The 40-year-old was not there, but one U.S. official told CBS News police found a note inside the home but wouldn't divulge what it said. Sources also tell CBS News officials are investigating whether Card was targeting a current or former girlfriend. A motive, however, remains unclear.
It's awful that what happened.
We spoke to Ben Soroy, who told us his father was called to the bowling alley to help a friend escape Wednesday night. Soroy says before this massacre, he always felt safe in this area.
We never lock our doors here. We never lock our cars.
What do you have to say as we grapple with another mass shooting in America?
Cherish your loved ones while they're here, because it could happen, I guess, anywhere.
Cherished your loved ones. You know, Jericka, he said he always felt safe prior to this, and a survey recently named Lewiston one of the safest communities in America. How's the shooting changed the way that the residents there are feeling?
You know, I think the sentiment that I've heard over and over again from the number of people I've spoken to is shock. They really are shocked. You talk about that survey, you look around at this community, when you think about it, it's about 40,000 residents here, very small town. A lot of people know someone who was impacted or heard about someone who escaped. So I think it's shock, but I also hear people feeling like this was an isolated incident and that it should not take away from the overall feeling and perception of Lewiston. But people are, without a doubt, again, we're less than 48 hours away from when this happened. So folks are still learning information about the conditions of loved ones or people they know in the hospital, but still just can't believe that something like this happened. And again, we're near the bowling alley. You can see the streets are still sort of blocked off by police where all of this happened.
Yeah, I mean, so often, Jericka, we cover these stories and people are always shocked that it happened where they live. As you mentioned the bowling alley, I understand we heard from the owner of the bowling alley through one of our affiliates. What did he have to say?
Correct. The owner of the affiliate who purchased this bowling alley reportedly about 2 years ago said that there were a lot of children in that bowling alley on Wednesday night. He talked about being able to quickly gather some people and getting to those emergency exits. And I imagine, Lana, that we're going to hear more and more of those stories. I've already heard quite a few of people who said they just reacted, especially in this place where there were so many children, and grabbed whoever they could. We went and door knocked on a man that we had heard was a retired officer who also helped. He himself was very startled, and of course you know how it is to go door knocking at this time. And he was struck by our presence, honestly, and said, hey, there's a shelter in place. I really don't want to talk right now. But you know, I can't imagine witnessing something like that, surviving it, and not being quite ready to talk about it. I think is absolutely normal. For those who are talking about it, it almost is like therapy, because it's just hard to truly wrap your mind around someone coming in and knowing that this person was an expert shooter and just literally targeting people and them dropping like flies. So to know that there were so many more people who escaped is without a doubt a blessing. But a lot of those stories are starting to come to light of those who were able to get out and those who were able to help save others.
Yeah, we count the victims based off of who actually was hit with the weapon. But in reality, the victims, actually, there's a lot more. Jericka, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, we are learning more about the suspect's background, including a history of severe mental health problems detailed as recently as July. Our chief national affairs and justice correspondent Jeff Pegues is at the scene of the second shooting location. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Lana. Law enforcement sources tell us that for months, Robert Card had been threatening to kill people, and he was also seen to be behaving erratically at a military training facility. And then on top of that, he was sent to a mental health treatment center, but he was only there for 2 weeks before he was released. Mass shooting suspect Robert Card enlisted in the Army as a reservist in 2002, but was never trained as a firearms instructor. The U.S. Army said his unit went to West Point in July for training, but Card never participated. One U.S. official says that's because he started acting erratically the first day. Card was taken to an Army hospital. He was allegedly hearing voices and threatened to shoot up a base. He was then reportedly committed to a mental health facility, but was released after 2 weeks. It remains unclear how or when Card obtained the firearm allegedly used in the shooting. But Tom Chittum, a former associate deputy director of the ATF, says despite the mental health evaluation, federal law would not permit Card from having a firearm.
Simply being diagnosed with a mental health disorder is not disqualifying, and neither is a commitment when it is voluntary or a brief commitment for observation.
But federal law does prohibit people from possessing guns if they've been formally committed to a mental health facility. But the details surrounding his mental health check aren't fully known, so it's unclear if he was flagged to a federal database. Maine's yellow flag law does allow law enforcement to detain someone they suspect is mentally ill and poses a threat to themselves or others.
If in fact the suspect was hospitalized for 2 weeks for mental illness, that should have triggered the yellow flag law, and he should have been separated from his weapons.
One more note about this state's gun laws, and this is important. In this state, you don't have to have a background check to purchase from an unlicensed or private seller. That said, we don't know at this time how this gunman purchased the weapons used. Lana.
Jeff, I mean, we heard Collins there talking about the yellow flag laws. It sounds like a red flag law example, specifically when somebody's threatening to kill people and has access to the means to do so. Do we know anything about how the suspect got the weapon?
We're still looking into that. But, you know, all this talk about mental health issues, you know, I've covered stories like this before, and in my experience, you often have people in the community saying, well, he kept to himself, didn't really know him that well. But you're not seeing this in this case. What you're seeing in this case is that a lot of people around here, and we've been told since we've been here, this is a tight-knit community, and people knew who Robert Card was. They knew that he had weapons. They knew that he had mental health issues. And so if you take the emotion and really the grief out of this situation when you can, you'll see that if you take a clinical look at what happened here, there were signs here. There were signs that Robert Card was sort of spiraling, and then you hear this information about how there was this recent breakup, and now we're being told by law enforcement that that breakup may have been a significant destabilizing event in his life. So when people talk about these mass shootings and what to look out for, there were signs in this case that people saw, but the question will be going forward, was enough action taken to prevent him from doing something like this, or even being in a situation where he might think about doing something like this.
And Jeff, he is still at large. The people there are under lockdown orders. How concerned are officials that he could carry out another shooting?
Well, you have to be concerned because you've seen what he's already allegedly done with the bloodshed in this community, and he is considered armed and dangerous. And then you work into this the fact that he is an Army reservist, has the training to survive, to sustain himself, and then you would consider him an outdoorsman. He likes to hunt, according to the people that we've spoken with, and then he has access to waterways, and he's had access to vehicles as well. So this is complicated, but the most important point at this time, as long as he is on the run, there are people in this community who are concerned. I mean, you drive around and people are still sheltering in place. Stores are closed, restaurants are closed. So there is concern about the safety of residents here, considering the fact that he is armed, has been armed, and has weapons or has had weapons available to him.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much.